So we're just coming up to now the, I think they call it waterfront out here, which is just opposite New York City. And compared to New York, Manhattan Island, New Jersey has got very little, got a few skyscrapers, but nowhere near on the volume as Manhattan Island, or New York City as they call it over there. A lot of these have gone up quite recently, I think. And look at the size of them, God. This is the New Jersey Turnpike, which takes you down to Virginia, I believe. This one above me. So this is where Marlon Brando would have been hanging around, shooting on the waterfront. I think it was like, could have been a contender. Some of these buildings. Yeah, so New York's an exciting city. I'd say it's because it's history. It's, you know, London is an exciting place, but New York, because, you know, the dynamic size of its buildings is incredible, really. Down on the waterfront. Makes you wonder how they can get so many buildings. I don't know whether it's concrete or clay, but they seem to get the pile drivers in and they keep on putting them up. So I mean, look, nothing here at all, no skyscrapers, nothing. It's all over on the other side, Hudson River. So it's certainly not a small island. It's along 11 miles, and you go down to South Seaport, Battery Park area, where the World Trade Center was. And God, that must have made a hell of a mess there when that came down. I was in London at the time, and I'll never forget that as long as I live. Seeing people fall out that building holding hands, you know, having an opportunity to burn to death or jump out. There's a dilemma for you. They've got some Canadian geese here. Let's go. Like Docklands Railway, some of these are, thank you Colin, cheers. Some of these are driverless, some of these trains. So this is I think on the other side is the upper west side of New York, and you see they're still constructing there. They're still going up and getting higher and higher. I imagine, you know, as in London, there is a limit to how high they can go because of the Civil Aviation Authority, you know, and becoming a danger to planes. But when you're thousands of feet up, all this looks like a toy town by comparison. So these rocks, this would have been as it was, you know, 250 years ago when the British Army were bivouacked along this river. I think where Columbus Circle is in New York, that was a big battle with Washington's army, and that war was interesting because the British were pushed out, came back in greater numbers. They were pushed out, they came back in greater numbers, and what confused Washington, he didn't know where the British were going to turn up with the ships of the line, you know. And they took on the superpower of the day, the British Army, you know, the British Navy. Even Napoleon couldn't finish off the British Navy. Just too strong. So this is upper Manhattan. And does seem to go back. So if you carry on out Hudson to the right, you come to the Pacific, and you can see some of the most unusual structures going up. So you can't see the Empire State from here, so it's miles long, as you can see. And I don't know whether a lot of these buildings are offices or whether they're, you know, people who live in them or whatever. I don't know. Someone who lives here would be able to tell much more about this place. So And the sway structures, you know, I mean, I do know that modern buildings are built with a sway structure. That's where the Eiffel Tower isn't. Eiffel Tower is just on 4 legs, and it does rock a bit. But when I was up the World Trade Centre years ago, I do remember it was rocking slightly, which it's got to do, otherwise it would crack. But the World Trade Centre, when it was hit, you know, if you believe that it was hit, which I do, by the planes, I think it just collapsed under its own weight. You know, tons and tons of asbestos and rubble would make anything collapse. So Times Square over there, and I say if you're in New York this weekend, there's quite a big festival on which I'm proud to have my own movie in, and tickets are still available, very modestly priced, about $22. And it does, you know, we're not the Oscars, it does take money to keep these festivals going. So if you want to come and join us, there's going to be a great selection of films, documentaries, horrors, features, shorts, and mine's showing on the 4th and 5th, but it's well worth the money, I think. This is quite an important film festival worldwide. So hi again from Manhattan anyway. Goodbye for now.